As we told you earlier, was one of the hardest hit by last night's tornadoes. Chattanooga Police and the Chattanooga Fire Department have concentrated their efforts to Jenkins Road and Stanford Gap area. This is some video from late last night.
Also, the Ooltewah and Collegedale areas were hit by some extremely strong storms.
I believe this is East Brainerd, so you're looking at a lot of homes. That looks like a roof that is completely flown off right there, Chip.
Yes, it certainly does.
What does it take, wind gusts, what does it take for this to happen?
This is the Ooltewah area, and you've got to see excessive winds. Sometimes you get straight line winds, and they can be as intense as a tornado, confirmed with actual tornadoes themselves. And that's where the National Weather Service will step in a little bit later on if they're not already on scene. But you can't really make that full assessment whether it was straight line winds or tornadoes until you get a little bit of daylight.
Absolutely.
And thankfully, when daylight does roll around, we are going to see a much calmer forecast.
It's hard to look at some of these images. Ooltewah and Collegedale were also severely hit last night. You know, our crew captured video of some downtown shops, and postal officials tell us that trees are down throughout the area. They say that the power outage at the post office as well as everything north of the railroad bridge is also damaged.
Have a look at the Lazy Boy store out on Gun Barrel Road, not far from Hamilton Place. This is what happened to that business, and obviously extreme damage across a good part of the area.
Unbelievable.
On the way into work this morning, there were piles of debris all up and down Hickson Pike. You can see where garbage cans have been blown out into the road. And there are a couple of areas where barricades have been put up inbound heading south from, let's say, Northgate on into the downtown area. A couple of things we do know here, Kay, is at least one or two of these tornadoes was strong enough to be classified as an EF2 tornado.
And Chip, how many tornadoes are we talking about that could have possibly touched down in our viewing area?
8.
8.
Now, that's not just here in Chattanooga. That does cover our entire viewing area. Southeast Tennessee, North Georgia, North Alabama, and Western North Carolina.
Wow.
If you didn't see the tornadoes, or pardon me, if you didn't see tornado damage, more than likely you don't have to go very far to see either tornado or straight line wind damage. Now, flash flooding is still a big issue, and I'll show you that here in a moment. We do have flash flood warnings that are out for a good part of the area, and high wind advisory also.
There are a lot of folks that are without power at this hour as well.
That's true. You'll be hearing from Amy Maxwell right here a little bit later on this morning, and she's going to caution you about the tailwinds that are coming in as a result of this, and we'll have more on that in just a moment.
Wow, look at the flooding, Chip.
Yeah, I know, and you got to consider basically the ground was already saturated. Over into the Sequatchie Valley area, they were hit especially hard as well. We do know, and this is from the National Weather Service, this is the worst tornado outbreak since 2011.
I remember that day.
April of 2011.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's eerie to see these images again right here in the Tennessee Valley. We do know that Maury County has been hit very hard by this as well. We are working to get some numbers there and learn more about the damage and devastation that is there. If you have pictures, you live in Maury County, I want you to send them to me if you can. Send them an email or send them by Facebook or Twitter. We are working to learn more on what is going on in that area right now.
We're also told that one of the biggest hit areas, draw a line, if you will, from Fort Payne over to Lafayette and Walker County and then over to Dalton and also southern Polk County, especially high winds and possible tornado damage there as well. And you got to consider the rainfall we had also. Some areas got up to 6 inches of rain. 6 inches of rain, and that's on top, as I said a moment ago, of the already saturated ground.
You know, I spoke with some folks yesterday whose family lives in East Brainerd and says that their windows were just shattered, mattresses flying out of the back of their homes. It just came within minutes. That's all it takes is a few minutes to have this much damage and destruction.
Which further emphasizes the need to have your Storm Team 12 weather alert radio properly programmed, fresh batteries, and also have a backup for that if there is any way possible. And this is also a